There's a persistent claim floating around online that Germany scrapped its A1 German language requirement for spouses back in 2022. It's false, and believing it can genuinely delay your family's move by months. The requirement is still very much enforced in 2026. But here's what most guides miss. There's a specific, official exemption list, and if you're American, Canadian, Australian, Japanese, South Korean, or from a handful of other countries, you might not need it at all. My name is Vincent, and in this video, I'm breaking down exactly how Germany's family reunion visa works in 2026, the language rules, the real income numbers, and the timeline you should actually plan around. Let's get into it. The Familiennachzug family reunion visa is Germany's pathway for spouses, minor children, and in specific circumstances, parents to join a family member already legally residing in Germany. Officially, it's a national visa, category D, and the exact rules that apply to you depend heavily on your sponsor status, whether they're a German citizen, an EU citizen, or a third country national holding a German residence permit for work, study, or another purpose. This isn't one uniform process. It's a family of related rules that shift based on who's sponsoring whom, so the specifics genuinely matter more here than in most visa categories. One important note if this applies to your situation. Family reunification for individuals holding subsidiary protection status has been suspended entirely from July 24, 2025 through July 23, 2027. Worth knowing upfront if that's your specific category, since the standard process described in this video doesn't currently apply to that group. Let's tackle this directly, since it's genuinely the most misunderstood part of the entire process. Under Section 30 of Germany's Residence Act, spouses joining a sponsor in Germany generally need to prove basic German language ability at A1 level before their visa is even issued, not after arrival, before. This means being able to introduce yourself, answer simple questions about familiar topics, and communicate at the most basic conversational level, verified through an accepted certificate like the Goethe Institute's Start Deutsch 1. Independent study alone doesn't count. You need the actual certificate from a recognized testing center. But here's where the exemptions matter, and this is the part that genuinely changes people's timelines. You're exempt from this requirement if your sponsor holds an EU Blue Card, an ICT card for intra-company transfers, or qualifies as a recognized skilled worker under specific provisions of the Residence Act. You're also exempt if you're a citizen of a visa-exempt country, and this list specifically includes the United States, Canada, Australia, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, Israel, and the United Kingdom. Beyond nationality-based exemptions, there's also individual exceptions for documented illness or disability that genuinely prevents language learning, demonstrably low integration need for short planned stays, and hardship cases where insisting on the requirement would cause unreasonable delay to an already planned marriage. One detail worth flagging specifically, if your sponsor is on a temporary residence permit, such as a student visa, some German missions explicitly waive the A1 requirement, since the joining spouse's stay is considered similarly temporary, though this varies by consulate, so confirm directly with the specific mission handling your application rather than assuming it applies universally. This is genuinely where a lot of applicants get confused, because there's no single flat income number that applies across every case. Instead, German authorities calculate what's called secured livelihood based on the Bürgergeld standard needs system. And this is worth understanding conceptually rather than just memorizing one figure, since it shifts based on your household composition. As of 2026, the basic standard need for a single adult sits at €563 monthly and €506 for each additional adult partner in the household, meaning a married couple's baseline need alone starts around €1,012 before you even add rent, heating costs, and health insurance on top. We're flagging directly, from July 1st, 2026, Germany is restructuring the Bürgergeld system into a new framework called Grundsicherung, but these standard need figures remain the practical reference point immigration authorities use for this calculation, regardless of the rebranding. The sponsor in Germany needs to demonstrate this combined financial capacity through employment contracts, recent pay slips, or bank statements, and it's worth explicitly avoiding outdated flat figures you might see cited elsewhere, like a single €1,480 net number, since the actual requirement is this layered calculation specific to your household size and location, not one universal threshold. If the sponsor is a student rather than an established worker, the bar shifts slightly differently. You'll need to show a blocked account with roughly €11,904 annually per joining family member, alongside adequate health insurance coverage for everyone. Beyond income, you need to prove adequate living space for the incoming family members. Germany has specific space per person standards that vary somewhat region by region, so this is worth confirming with your specific Ausländerbehörde rather than assuming a national standard applies uniformly. A signed rental agreement or proof of property ownership covering the appropriate square footage typically satisfies this. The core document package includes valid passports for everyone involved, biometric photos, proof of the family relationship, a marriage certificate for spouses, birth certificates for children, the sponsor's proof of resident status or employment, the rental agreement, health insurance coverage, the A1 language certificate where it applies, and the visa fee payment receipt. Civil partnerships need to be officially registered and legally recognized to qualify under the same framework as marriage. Worth knowing if your circumstances raise questions during review, German embassies do apply structured interview protocols specifically for cases showing certain red flags, significant age gaps between spouses, no shared language between the couple, or a marriage arranged shortly after a previous visa denial. If any of these apply to your situation, come prepared with genuine relationship documentation, communication history, joint photos, wedding evidence, not because anything is wrong with your relationship, but because these interviews are specifically designed to distinguish genuine family reunification from marriages of convenience. Non-EU family members apply at the German embassy or consulate covering their home country, submitting the full document package, attending an interview, and paying the visa fee, €75 per adult applicant, €37.50 for minor children. Once your visa is approved and you've entered Germany, there's a second step, applying for your actual residence permit at the local Ausländerbehörde, which currently costs an additional €100. On timing, this is genuinely one area where planning ahead matters enormously. Processing itself typically runs 4 to 12 weeks depending on the consulate, but the realistic total timeline, factoring in gathering documents, translations, apostilles, and language course preparation if needed, is considerably longer. The consistent recommendation across immigration specialists is submitting your application at least 4 months before your intended travel date, and that the A1 requirement applies to your situation, building in a 3 to 4 month window specifically for language course completion before that. Processing also genuinely slows during peak periods, particularly May through July and October through December, so avoiding those windows if your timeline has any flexibility is worth considering. All told, once you account for translations, apostilles, the A1 course if required, and travel, most applicants realistically spend somewhere between €500 and €1,500 per joining family member, beyond the core visa fees themselves, a number worth budgeting for honestly rather than being surprised by later. Here's genuinely good news once your family reunion permit is issued. Spouses entering Germany under this category are generally entitled to work without restriction from the date their residence permit is granted. No separate work authorization, no waiting period, nothing additional to apply for. This is meaningfully more generous than several other countries' spousal visa categories, where accompanying partners often face their own separate bureaucratic hurdles before they can legally work. Once you're settled, the clock starts ticking toward permanent residency, and the timeline genuinely depends on your specific relationship to your sponsor. If you're the spouse of a German citizen specifically, you become eligible to apply for a settlement permit after just 3 years, provided you meet the standard language and integration requirements at that point. In most other family constellations, spouse of a foreign national residing in Germany, for instance, the standard timeline extends to 5 years, matching the general pathway most other residence categories follow. Worth knowing if you're thinking beyond just the immediate reunion, understanding this process correctly matters even more if you're eventually planning to transition into other German visa categories down the line. Options like the freelance visa, the opportunity card we covered in a separate video, or the job seeker route, since your family's resident status and timeline can interact with those transitions in ways worth planning for together rather than in isolation. If your household includes someone who might independently qualify for a skilled worker visa or blue card later, it's worth discussing that possibility with an immigration consultant early, since it can meaningfully change which exemptions and timelines apply to your specific case. So here's the practical bottom line. Germany's family reunion visa is one of the more predictable, well-trodden immigration pathways available, precisely because the rules, while detailed, are consistently applied. Get your documents right, confirm honestly whether the A1 requirement actually applies to your specific nationality and sponsor situation, prove your household's financial footing clearly, and build in real time, 4 months minimum, rather than rushing the process. Get those pieces right, and this becomes one of Germany's more approvable visa categories rather than one of its more stressful ones. If this was useful, subscribe for more visa breakdowns like this one, and let me know in the comments which country's family visa system you want me to cover next.